Hello everyone. Today we'll be building GitHub profile viewer. We'll be making use of the GitHub API. So what we'll be doing, we'll be displaying when we type the GitHub username, right? We'll be displaying the number of followers, also the his or her GitHub repositories as well. This is what we'll do, and other things as well. So for this, we'll be making use of the tech stack, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So let's start by creating the HTML file. I'll just create the HTML file and name it index.html. Let's also create the style file. I'll just give the style.css. So first, what I'll do is, I'll just create very basic HTML template, and I'll just change the title to GitHub profile viewer, right? Next, let's link the style sheet. Also give the path and the name style.css. So this is it. Next, what we'll do, let's start writing the HTML code. So initially, what I'll do, I'll just consider the parent div and give class name container. So next, I'll be making use of input tag, and type will be text itself. ID, username, and placeholder will be enter the GitHub username. So this will be the placeholder. Next, what I'll do, I'll just make use of the single button. So I'll be making use of the onClick event, and I'll be giving the function name fetch profile. So I'll just name the button as fetch profile itself. So next, I'll just make this F capital. So next, what we'll be doing, I'll just take two divs. So I'll just give ID profile. Here also, I'll give ID as profile itself. So not profile, this one. First one will be profile, and second one will be, repositories. So this is it. This is it for the HTML. Let me format this once. So next, let's start writing the CSS. So for the CSS, one second. I want to import the Poppins font. So I want to make use of the Poppins font in this project. So I'll just search for Poppins font. Click on the first link. Get font. Get embed code. Import. And I'll just copy this one. 3 lines. And I'll just paste it over here. Next, what I'll do, I'll just make use of the body. And again, I'll go here and I'll just copy this one. This line, font family. So the primary font we'll be making use of is Poppins, and the secondary one, if something goes wrong, we'll be making use of sans serif. So I'll just close this one. Then let's give margin of 0 and padding of 0. Also background color of 0, F0, F0. So next, let's style for container. This one, I'll just copy this one and I'll paste it over here. So next, what I'll do, I'll just make use of max width. I'll give 800 pixel, margin of 50 pixel, and auto Also padding of 20 pixel, background color of white or triple F, also border radius of 10 pixel, box shadow of, and I'll just consider RGB 0, 0, 0.1. So this is it for the container. Then let's style for the input. So I'll just copy this one. I'll paste it over here. Just consider this one input. Type equals test. Let's start writing the styles. Width, I'll be giving calc of 100% minus 80 pixel. So is something wrong? 1 second. So here it has to be common braces, not the rectangular braces, right? So next, what we need, I'll just give padding of 10 pixel, margin right of 10 pixel, border of 1 pixel, solid, triple C, then border radius of 5 pixel, also font size of 16 pixel. Next, what we'll do, we'll style for the button. This one. Yeah. What we'll give? Padding of 10 pixel, 20 pixel, background color of 007, bay double F. So color of white, we don't need any border, so I'll just give border none, border radius of 5 pixel, cursor will be pointer, font size of, just consider 16 pixel. Next, we'll style for profile and repositories. This one, I'll just copy this one. This is ID. So I'll just give /, sorry. Just copy this one, repositories, and I'll paste it over here. Let's give margin top of 20 pixel. So this is it for the CSS. I'll just format this once. Also format this one. What I've done is, I have installed an extension called Live Server. What this does is, whenever we make changes in the HTML file, the changes will directly get reflected in the browser. Instead of reloading again and again to see the changes, we can make use of this extension, so that the changes we can see directly, without reloading, we can see the changes directly in the browser. So I'll just close this one. I'll just right click and open with Live Server. So yeah, for now, this is looking like this. Whenever I click on fetch profile, right? If I enter my GitHub name here, and whenever I click on fetch profile, it has to fetch the profile. Along with it, we'll also, 1 second, we'll also fetch the user repositories as well. Also, we'll fetch the user data from the GitHub API. These three things will be doing by making use of the GitHub API. For that one, we have to make use of the JavaScript. Let's start writing the JavaScript. So what I'll do, I'll just create a JavaScript file named index.js. So I'll just move this one to the right side, and also I'll place the JavaScript file just below the body by making use of the script tag. And that's .js. So I'll just format this document once. Let's start writing the JS file. First, let's create the function. This one on fetch profile we have given, right? On click of this one. So I'll just copy this function name and just paste it over here. So first what we'll do, we have to fetch the username from the input field. So here we'll do the three things. Namely, first we'll fetch the username from the input field. Next, what we'll do, we'll fetch the user data from the GitHub API. The third one, we'll fetch the user repositories from the GitHub API. So these three things we'll be doing. The first step is we'll fetch for the username from the input field. I'll just comment this one and write fetch the username from the input field. For this one, what I'll do, I'll just make use of the variable name username, and I'll give document dot get element by ID of username. So where this username is coming from, one second, this one. I'll just copy this one and paste it over here. So we have to get the value as well, right? So I'll just make use of the value. The next step, the second step is we have to fetch the user data from the GitHub API. Fetch the user data from GitHub API. So for that one, I'll be making use of fetch. So let's make use of the template literals. This is api.github.com/users will be involving username. Username is coming from here, this one. So this is it. Then we have to convert the response to JSON. For that one, I'll be making use of then. I'll just give a response. This will be a response.json. So next step, just make use of then again. If we are data, next what we have to do, we have to display the user profile information, and just give displays user profile info. So what I'll do, I'll just make use of the variable name profile div document dot get element by ID of profile. Where the profile is coming from, one second, this one ID. We have given ID of a profile, right? I'll just copy this one here, profile. Next, we're making use of inner HTML. Within the backticks, what we'll write? First, we'll consider data dot login. Next, I'll be giving image source. What will give avatar underscore URL. So alternate, I'll just give avatar. So 1 second. Let me give style width just 100 pixel is okay. This is the avatar of the profile that we searched. So suppose if I've searched for my GitHub profile name, then the avatar of mine has to get displayed. So this one. Let me just close this one. Next, it will be name. So I'll just be making use of the p tag. I'll give name. For this one, will include data.name. I just close the p tag. Next, will include bio as well. For this one, data.bio. So I'll just close the p tag. Next, we need followers. So I'll just give followers. I'll make use of followers. Just close the p tag. Then I need following. So I'll give following. Let's include data following. Then we are just displaying the public repositories. How many public repositories all there? I mean present, that will be displaying. For that one, data dot public underscore repos. So this is it for the HTML part. So next what we'll do, this is the third step. What we have to do, we have to fetch the user repositories from the GitHub API. I'll just comment this one and I'll write fetch user repositories from GitHub API. So what I'll do, I'll just make use of fetch again. This time I'll make use of template literals. It will be API dot github.com /users same username. This is coming from here. We have to display the repositories. Like for that one, I'll be giving /repos. So then what I'll do, I'll just make use of then. Here we have to convert the response to JSON. For that one, I'll just be making use of response dot JSON. Next, again I'll make use of then. I'll make use of the data. Here, what we have to do this time, we have to display user repositories. So for that one, I'll just be making use of the variable name repo div. Let's make use of document dot get element by, this time we have to create element, right? Sorry, document dot create element. What will create? The anchor tag links, right? For that one I'll be making use of a. So each repository will create it as a link. Whenever we click on that link, it has to open in the next page. So that's what we'll be doing here. One second, did I miss anything? So no, we are not, we haven't got the repositories yet, right? So sorry, this one, document dot get element by ID itself, sorry, and where this one is coming from, here, repositories. We didn't get the repositories yet, sorry. So I'll just paste it over here. So I'll just make use of repo div dot inner HTML would be, I'll just make use of inside the h2, let's give repositories. Let's close the h2 tag. So next, data for each, just make use of repo. This time we'll create a link for each repository. So whatever the repositories we got, we'll create each, we'll create a link for the each repository. Whenever we click on the link, it has to open in the next page. So I'll just create, just comment this out and write, create a link for each repository. So how do we do that? Let me give the variable name repo link, and let me create, I'll just make use of the create element anchor tag, right? So next, dot href, let's take HTML underscore URL. This has to be. Next, repo link text content. We are taking the name, that will be repo.name. So next what we'll do, we have to open the link in the new tab. For that one, I'll just make use of repo link target underscore blank. So I'll just comment this one and write opens link in a new tab. Next, what we'll do, just make use of the report div append child or repo link. So what this does, we are appending the link to the repository list. So I'll just comment this one and write appends link to repository list. So next what we are doing, the finally, repo div, again we are making use of append child. So document dot create element of BR. Why am I consider the BR? It just adds the line break, right? So that it looks good. So I'll just comment this one and write add a line break. So this is it for the JavaScript part. So I'll just format this document once. Let me format this one as well, and the index.html as well. So let's check once. So here I'm having enter the GitHub username initially. Let me enter my GitHub name. So whenever I'm clicking on this one, fetch profile, my GitHub name is displayed along with the avatar, name Manu Bharadwaj, bio, whatever I have given in the repo, in the GitHub profile. So followers, following, and public repositories. How many public repositories I'm having? So repositories are not getting displayed. We'll check what's the problem. So what mistake I have done is here, data.forEach. So this has to be capital E, not the small e. This is the mistake that I have done. So let me format the document once and let me open this one. Let me search for my repository, that is Manu 5772228. So yeah, now I'm getting the repository name, my pick, biopic, where this is coming from, this one. So avatar, name, bio will get, and the followers, following, and public repositories. Name, bio, followers, following, and public repositories. 237 we are having. Next, what we are doing, so where these repositories are coming, here, the third one, right? Fetch user repositories from the GitHub API. What we have done, this one, we have created a link for the each repository. Then whenever on click of that link, we have to open that in the new tab. And we have appended the link to the repository list as well, right? So, and we are displaying the each repository every line. So here, see, suppose if I open, let me open Angular mini project, something, I'll just open this one. Yeah, it is taking me to my repository, correct, right? Correct repository. Let me open anything. Let me open 3D portfolio. Here, I'm getting the 3D portfolio. Everything is working fine. Let me close this one. So everything is working perfect. So this is what we wanted to do. That's it. Thanks for watching, guys.